Hi everyone, welcome to Street Combat, Street Defence Striking. This is the techniques from the Street Defence system. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, notifications on if possible. Share and like these videos to help the channel grow, that would be amazing. Okay, so what we're going to do today, we're going to show you the Street Combat striking techniques from the Street Defence self-defence system. Okay, so the reality-based self-defence strikes. Okay, so first off is going to be the palm strike. So unlike boxing, obviously where you wear gloves and obviously you do like a punch technique, in real life, hands are open, okay, to cause zero damage to yourself. So you hit with the padded section of the palm, so it's called the palm heel section. And you can see the footwork moves exactly the same, say the number 2, the cross strike of a boxing technique, but you're actually, all you're doing is using the open hand position. The good thing with the palm strike, as well as it being obviously an effective strike, you can obviously hit with knowing that you're not going to cause any damage to yourself, obviously performing this strike. The hands open is a non-intimidating stance position as well. Your hands are open and it's non-threatening. So obviously the idea obviously is to use this from a point of view, you can actually prevent a strike coming in from the other way, and obviously you might even need to use this strike. But obviously the idea with the palm strike is to create a lot of power in the strike if you need to do that from a self-defense point of view, but also you don't damage yourself in the process. You can see also you can potentially lead with a slight finger jab with the left hand to create that bit of time of movement as you step into the strike, and obviously then you turn your whole body and pivot and rotate on the ball of the back foot as you strike, but you can step forward into the strike as well to give you even more power. So using your body's momentum to generate that power, obviously the body movement, and obviously breathing out as you strike as well. Okay, so the basic concept of the palm strike is to hit through the target, strike with the palm heel, spring off the rear foot, turn the hip into the strike and breathe out as you strike as well. Next strike is the hammer fist strike. So the hands do start open like they do on the palm strike, but obviously what happens is as you go into the movement for the strike, your hands close into what is called like a hammer fist position. So your fingers turn in like you're going to do a punch, obviously whether you're going to go straight forward, but you don't, you hit with a padded section underneath the hand. The thumb overlaps the fingers over the top, so the thumb doesn't go inside the hand, obviously because you don't want to damage your thumb as you make impact with the strike. Okay, so quite a powerful strike. Again, like a lot of the other movements, you can see the rotation in the right side on the hip, and pivoting and rotating round on that right foot as well. You can step into this strike as well, again, because you don't want to be standing toe to toe with the target. Ideally you want to have a bit of space, but obviously to perform the strike you're going to need to step into the strike, but obviously it's got to be from a certain distance so you're not too far away, you're overreaching, but obviously they're not too close that actually you're in direct harm's way, and obviously that's going to give you a lot less time to react as well. So don't start with the hands clenched on this one. You clench as you move into the strike, and you hit down across if you can as well. So you can see target areas obviously on the opponent, the attacker, obviously can be a variety of areas, obviously mainly obviously the face, or it could be the collarbone area to cause that sort of impact. It's a strong strike, but obviously again you don't damage the hand. So the basic techniques on this one to perform the technique correctly for hammer fist: start with an open hand, hit through the target the face or collarbone area, and breathe out as you strike to give you maximal power. Next strike is the Rhino Strike. Okay, slightly different from any sort of strike you've seen. This is to protect yourself against a punch whilst also striking at the same time. This is taking out the guesswork of blocking a certain strike coming in that you've got to react to, and then performing a strike. We are blocking and striking at the same time. This might feel and look odd to begin with, but I guarantee you once you've mastered this, it's a great way of protecting the major areas of the head. The only bit exposed of the head is the hardest part of the head, which is the top part here, as you can see as I'm driving forward. If you were to take impact on that, obviously you'd have probably quite a big headache after it, but okay, but you can imagine if somebody's punching into that position, you're going to do a lot of damage to the hand and wrist. It's not in their interest to perform a strike on that area. If they try and hit anywhere else, it's going to hit the arms, or it's going to punch straight into your elbow. It's going to cause significant damage to them. Obviously all you're doing is blocking. Obviously with the elbows, as you can imagine, as they drive forward, if they step into that, if they're trying to strike you too, that's going to be quite a large impact. And not any strikes, the more powerful you get as you practice these techniques, obviously then you've got a question, does the threat warrant a strike to come in? Okay, the reaction of you has always got to be relevant to the threat. If you strike and do too much obviously damage the other way, even if they've technically started the attack, you can then become the attacker, and obviously then you could obviously get into trouble with that. So work out obviously how good your ability is with the striking techniques. So basics on the Rhino Strike. Start in the guard position, always look forward. As you move forward, move the arms into position and propel your body forward, springing off the rear foot. Okay, next strike, elbow strike. Okay, this can be from close range, and it tends to be from close range, but obviously for the example of this, obviously you're going to see there's obviously no one standing there. You can see I'm rotating again on the ball of the back foot, the rear foot. I'm using the right elbow. See how the hand is around chest height. Don't bring the hand towards the face. Obviously, if you make impact with the elbow strike, if you put the hand near the face, you could actually end up punching yourself in the face, which obviously you don't want to do. So you can see as well what can happen. Potentially, when you do the strike, the left hand here could actually move around the attacker's back of the head to grab the head and perform the elbow strike. This can actually generate a lot more power. Okay, and obviously the idea is to do enough that you can actually get away from the threat. Okay, it's not to overperform and keep firing shots out, because then you technically become the attacker. You do what is necessary to get out of it, and then you move away. And like with any sort of striking thing, ideally you never want to have to use a strike. Striking is a last form of self-defense, so obviously you only use strikes if that is your only option to make sure you're safe from an attack. So you can see turning and using the whole body into the attack here. Obviously the idea where the target would be obviously the head of the attacker, and ideally you'd only have to do one strike, but obviously it depends on your ability and your skill level. You might need to do more than one strike just to get you that freedom time to be able to escape that attack. That's all you need to do, is create the opening to get away and keep yourself safe. So we're going to move in now to the techniques of that strikes, the elbow strikes. Turn your body into the strike, do not overcommit the strike, pivot the ball at the back of the rear foot. You can grab using the other hand obviously to give you that more impact. Next strike is a low kick. Okay, so you can use this one to obviously strike kicks. Obviously you keep to a minimum, obviously, because obviously technically you're on 1 foot for a period of time. Again, depends on your ability. If you're a great kicker, you might obviously pretend to use this as a defense mechanism more than others. But you can see I can use the hands as a diversion to what I'm about to do. So don't make the kick look too obvious. Okay, so if you make a kick look obvious, like a lot of people would see that kick coming, and obviously it defeats the object of actually using the strike. So you can use your hands to divert their gaze towards your upper body, and obviously then it's like quite a quick snap kick. Not technically, it's going to might not do actually any sort of damage to the attacker, obviously to fend them off. But what it might do is create that time for you then to perform an upper body strike. So it could be a palm strike, hammer fist, or even a Rhino Strike if you feel you needed to do that. Because obviously to get to the point where you can perform a strike, you're going to have to step towards the attacker. This sort of technique gives you that bit of time to be able to perform something to distract them by being kicked low when they didn't expect it, and then by then you've already followed it up with an upper body strike. So it can be used, obviously if you're a great kicker you might actually use this, and this could be enough for you to get away. You might be able to perform a certain amount of damage to give you the free run to be able to get away from that scenario. If so, do that, obviously fantastic, but if not, obviously you can use this as a way of stepping in, just to give a little bit of impact to be able to step in to go further if you needed to. So the technical points of the low kick: keep the hands open, use the hands as a distraction, and keep the kicks about knee height at top. Any higher than that, you're going to create a lot of distance, which could also create a lot of problem. So the knee strike now. This is slowed down again because there's no actual person in this video with me on this one. You can see you've got to imagine obviously the attacker being in that position. You could be in a grab position where you need to grab the attacker's shoulders, therefore you can drive the knee into the groin area. So it's a basic technique just to show you, obviously you've got someone there, it can be a bit easy to see, but also from the street combat workouts we're going to do, obviously there isn't going to be an opponent in the video, so I wanted to show you what a knee strike technically would look like, but without an actual opponent or an attacker in that position. So with a knee strike, it obviously is a close range strike, so if there is an attacker close by and obviously you're able to perform this sort of strike into the groin area, then this is the sort of technique that you do use. So you've got to imagine that position a bit more, because obviously there isn't an attacker in the video. It's a powerful technique, a very good technique, obviously if that's the technique you're able to use, and anyone will tell you if an attacker was in a position where you could perform a knee strike in the right area of the body, that's all you'd need to do. That would give you more than enough time to escape and to get out of harm's way. And that is the idea of any of these strikes, is to do enough that you need to do to be able to escape and obviously neutralise the threat and give you the time to get away as well. Ideally you never want to use strikes, but obviously sometimes you can't help, that's all you've got in your locker. So for the knee strike, use the hands to grab, aim at the groin, drive the striking knee forwards. To subscribe to the channel, If you haven't done already, I'll get notifications for further videos, and obviously share and like the videos. It really helps the channel grow, and I'd really appreciate that. Any further information, feel free to visit the website www.streetdefenceuk.com. Thank you.